and welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, hi, I'm Jamie, and today I've decided to do a crock pot one pan meal dinner video for you guys. I thought this would be a great way to have the simplicity of dinner all in one pan or pot. If you're ready, let's get to cooking. All right, sweet friends, it is crock pot favorites time. So, starting this video with one of my faves, and it is vegetable soup. This is one of those recipes that we keep coming back to, and I'm so excited to show this recipe to you guys. So to start this recipe, of course, I forgot my spray. So I'm gonna use olive oil spray in my crock pot Instapot, and it has that saute feature, the brown saute. So I'm going to put that on for about, probably take me about 20 minutes to do this part. So I'm gonna do about 20 minutes. My fajita blend for the base of this soup. So I am going to pour about half of a cup of onions, bell peppers into my Instapot, or rather cook through. Okay, those are perfection. I'm gonna show you guys. So I've just cooked those through. So I'm going to add in, this is 2 1/4 pounds of lean ground beef. So I'm gonna add that to my pot. So I'm going to brown this meat first, and then I'll show you guys the rest. But in the meantime, I will add salt. You guys, I got the regular salt. About a teaspoon of salt onto the hamburger mix, and a little bit of pepper. And then cook that through. All right, friends, in the meantime, I am going to chop up potatoes. This is for the vegetable soup and for meals this week. So I'm going to do 4 potatoes for the soup, and then the rest will go into a baggie so I can have that prepped and ready to go for this week. I'm just cubing them and I'm leaving the skins on. Super simple. Clear that, and I'm going to weigh how many grams of potatoes. So I'm going to put 138 grams of potatoes in there. Okay, friends, next up, I'm putting 1.5 cans of petite diced tomatoes. I'm putting 2 cans of just crushed tomatoes. So the 16-ounce can. Is that right? 16 ounce? 15 ounce, sorry guys. So 2 of the 16-ounce cans of crushed tomatoes. We like ours with a tomato base, and you could always do a beef base if you wanted to, but this is what we've always done. So, all right, so now I'm going to add my vegetables. So I'm adding a mixed bag of veggies. I'm gonna 12-ounce bag of veggies. Let's see how that looks. All right, potatoes as well. So 1.5 bags. So 18 ounces of veggies in that soup, and the potatoes. Oh yeah. Okay, I'm not using all of them because I don't want to overload the pot. I normally use frozen hash brown, so this is what's got me off a little bit. So that, I'm gonna weigh and measure what potatoes I have left. So it's probably about 600 grams of the potatoes. So now let's go in with our seasoning. So I am going to add more salt. So about a teaspoon of salt, a teaspoon of pepper, and oregano. 1 teaspoon of oregano. 1/2 teaspoon of garlic and onion powder. 1/2 teaspoon of each garlic and onion powder. And you guys, do this to your family's liking of taste. I normally add, you know, what they like around here. So, all right, so a teaspoon of those. And then I'm going to do 2 tablespoons of ranch seasoning. This is one of our favorite things to add to soups and all the things. It's just got a great taste to it. All right, so 2 tablespoons of the ranch powder. We just buy this in this big container. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to cook this on low. No, probably I'm going to do high for 3 hours and then probably cook it on low the rest of the time. So that is our veggie soup. Very hearty, very yummy. It's got great flavor. And you'll get to see the after. So #1 crock pot fave recipe at our house is veggie soup. So I'm gonna close this bad boy up. I'm going to stop it. I'm gonna slow cook on high, 3 hours, and then I'll come back and I'll switch it to slow cook. As you can see, I've already started. I'm gonna show you what I've done already, because this was a whim. I was like, 1-pan meals, these are my favorite, and such a simple recipe idea. So I'm gonna show you guys what I bought at Walmart, the Butterball turkey tenderloin. And so what I've done is I've laid it out on my pan, I've aligned it with aluminum foil, and I've put my fajita blend, the tri-blend mix that's frozen. I've laid it out on one side, so I'm gonna do veggies on this side, sweet potatoes on this side, so kind of keep them separate. I've got the oven preheated on 350, and I'm going to get to chopping some vegetables. What I've done with the tenderloin, I have seasoned it with onion powder, garlic powder, celery salt, and Italian seasoning. So that's all the seasonings I'm going to put on that. And so now I'm going to just start chopping my veggies. Veggies, I'm going to add salt, celery salt, Italian seasoning, onion powder, about a teaspoon of these each. And I'm also going to add olive oil all over and kind of move those veggies around just to get them coated really good. A little bit of Worcestershire. So just kind of coat it. And I'm gonna add it to a little bit to my turkey as well. Then, now I've got to chop up the sweet potatoes. So I'm just gonna cube up my sweet potatoes. Potatoes done. Make sure those are cubed good enough. I will turn the sweet potatoes and spray them with olive oil once they start cooking, because I want to make sure that they get all the goodness cooked at the bottom. Sweet potatoes can be kind of, they're a little exciting sometimes, if you know what I mean. So I've sprayed those down really good with olive oil, got the oven preheated. I'm gonna pop this sucker in for 30 minutes and let's see what happens. Friends, here is our next crock pot recipe. So, London broil, really good meat with less fat. This is one of the best meats to have, good protein, less fat. And we are going to throw it in the crock pot. We are going to use these seasonings. And the last time I made this, it wasn't as juicy as I wanted it. I know. Picky lady here. So I'm going to add some more ingredients and we shall see how this goes. So we are going to start by placing our piece of meat into the crock pot. I'm going to put a little bit of olive oil at the bottom, probably about a tablespoon of olive oil. I'm gonna place meat in the crock pot like so. Now we are going to add in our seasonings. So I'm going to do about, let's just measure so I'm good. I'm gonna do a teaspoon of salt, a teaspoon of pepper, maybe a half a teaspoon of pepper. Seems like a lot of pepper. All right, we are going to do a half teaspoon of garlic powder or salt, whatever you guys have, or you could use real garlic, whatever you guys have. Put that in there. All right, onion powder the same. We're gonna do a half of a teaspoon of onion powder. We are going to do a teaspoon of the Tony Chachere's Creole seasoning. Thought maybe this would be a good change up. So a half a teaspoon of that. And then we're going to do 2 tablespoons of ranch seasoning. Or a packet if you've got it. A tablespoon of Worcestershire. All right, and then I buy the large Mount Olive pepperoncinis, and you are going to get a few of those pepperoncinis out, however many that suits your fancy. And I'm going to use a little bit of the juice in there as well, okay? Cup of water in there as well. Probably about half a cup. Just so it almost covers it, but not completely. So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to place this on high, slow cooker, high, and I'm going to do 6 hours. And we'll see how that does. I'll check it to make sure in the middle of the process to see how it goes. And I'll show you the after. Sweet friends, it is crock pot chicken time, and I just realized that my oh, mercy, you guys. I can't make this stuff up. All right, so this is gonna be an Instapot recipe. And because I have frozen chicken, so normally I would do slow cooker on this, but that's okay. I'm gonna Instapot it. I'm going to, anytime it's a slow cooker recipe and I just wanted to Instapot it, especially frozen chicken, I just throw it all in and just do the Instapot. All right, so I'm going to add this mixture to a bowl. I'm gonna show you, because I want it all to like marinate these. Sorry friends, you know how I walk away because I squirrel. I want to marinate all these seasonings together. So I'm going to use 1 can of cream of chicken soup. This is a gluten-free Pacific. Love this stuff. Absolutely amazing. I'm going to do a jar of salsa. Don't tell Chaz, he's gonna be super sad that this is gone. I'm going to do a can of petite diced tomatoes with green chilies, AKA Rotel. That in there. Now I'm going to add in taco seasoning. So I am just going to follow a recipe online to make my own. So I'm going to grab my onion powder, and it calls for 1/4 teaspoon of onion powder. Sorry, friends. All right. 1/4 teaspoon of crushed red bell pepper flakes. And I didn't do the right ingredients on that. It's okay. All right. 1/4 teaspoon of dried oregano. Let's just omit the paprika. 1.5 teaspoons of ground cumin. So 1.5 teaspoons of the ground cumin. Salt and pepper today. All right, pepper and salt. It sounds weird doing it backwards, doesn't it? Okay, so I've got my mixture together. So that was 1/4 teaspoon of onion powder, 1/4 teaspoon crushed red bell pepper, 1/2 teaspoon, 1/4, sorry guys, 1/4 teaspoon of dried oregano, 1/2 teaspoon paprika, which I didn't have, 1.5 teaspoons of ground cumin, 1 teaspoon of sea salt, and 1 teaspoon of black pepper, a can of petite diced tomatoes with the green chilies, a can of cream of mushroom. And that's what you get for inhaling the spices while you cook with them. Oh my gracious. So I'm going to pour this mixture. You know what? I'm going to use a cup of water since the chicken's frozen. I just want a little bit of liquid in there, just in case. I'm gonna mix that together. And you guys can add black beans, you can add corn to this, you can add any kind of beans that you want, but I'm just gonna keep it simple tonight. We're gonna have rice, and then I'm gonna make some veggies on the side. So I'm gonna pour that mixture over my chicken. And you guys, that's it. That is simple crock pot chicken, Mexican style, taco style chicken. On my Instapot, what I normally do is I just follow the guidelines that it tells me to on the crock pot. So if you were doing slow cook, you would slow cook for 6 to 8 hours with regular chicken. Since I have frozen, I'm doing the Instapot. So setting, and that's what I love about my crock pot. It's an Instapot and crock pot in one. So on this one, I'm doing poultry, and I always do 25 minutes with my poultry. I make sure the vent's down and I hit start. So if you're gonna do slow cook on low for like 8 hours, and then whatever you guys like your chicken. So that's the crock pot recipe. Going down, I'll show you guys the after. We're gonna have rice with it. This salsa chicken turned out delightful, and we're just having a salad with it and some rice. You guys, look at that goodness. Steamy gorgeousness. All right, my sweet friends, and that is a wrap of crock pot and one meals. I hope you guys, or pan meals, that's what we need to call them. Hope you guys enjoyed. Always remember, you are amazing, you are beautiful, you are loved, you are enough, and you are flipping phenomenal. Mwah.